Hi guys, welcome back for week 4 of the Homemakers Challenge. This will be the final full week in the challenge. And today is the 22nd, day 22. And today I would like to get this filing cabinet out of my kitchen. So it used to be in this room over here that we just redid. And I put it out here temporarily so we get it out of the way because we're doing the carpet and stuff in there. It had to be out. And I put it right here just outside that room because I originally thought I was going to put it back in there, but now I am thinking I am probably going to put it in a different room, and I'm not 100% confident in that decision, but I am 100% confident that I don't want it in my kitchen anymore. So I am going to get rid of all this junk on top of it and get it out of here. Alright, got that moved, and I can sit at this end of the table again. So what I wanted to talk about this week, now that I've got 3 full weeks done, so I kind of have some insight at this point, I want to talk about some of the things that are actually helping me to keep on track with this, as well as, necessarily some of the things that don't help. So for today, I want to talk about the way that I talk to myself, because something that is really not helpful, I've known this for a long time, is talking to yourself in a really negative or shameful way about things. That's I'm just terrible at this, I'm just not good at it, I'm especially if you let that take you into, I'm a bad person, I'm a bad wife, I'm a bad mom. That's not helpful at all. It's just really not. It's easy to go down that thought path, but it's not helpful at all. Because what happens is when you get into that loop of when you're talking about things as if they define you rather than just define your actions, that puts you into this space of, I'm just terrible at this, and that just kind of keeps you there. It doesn't, if you say, I'm just bad at this thing, that kind of keeps you stuck there. Look, I'm just bad at that thing. That's just how I am. I can't do anything about it. I don't have any control over it. And that's not true. And it's not helpful. What is helpful is saying things like, you know what, this isn't really what I want for myself. I want to do better at this for myself, for my family, for whatever. That kind of comes back into knowing your why, your motivation behind it, why it's important to you. But you have to actively say, it's not just that I'm bad at this. I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad housekeeper. I'm not a bad whatever. It's just a skill that I need to learn. It's just something I need to work on. And I can do that. It's under my control. I can do better at it, and I want to do better at it. And that's, might sound subtle, but it really does make a big difference to not take yourself down that path of, I just can't do it, I'm just terrible at it, and feeling that shame that doesn't help, that can put us in a really defensive place even against ourselves. So yeah, just try to think about the way that you talk to yourself, the way you speak to yourself in your head about these things, and be a little bit kinder and more constructive. I mean, it doesn't help when we talk to other people that way, right? We know that constructive criticism is much more helpful than being destructive or just, derogatory. So anyway, be kind to yourself, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Hi guys, day 23. As you can see, today I cleaned off my little pie safe there in the kitchen and the area of the floor in front of it where I had those are all boxes of some full, but mostly empty canning jars, and some of the boxes were empty because I've used the jars. So straightened that up, swept that area, cleared off on top of it. But I'm actually out here in my car to have our chat because it was kind of loud in the house tonight. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about today, the thing that has helped me in this challenge, is having some sort of external accountability in the form of sharing it with you guys daily. So the thing with that is, obviously, when you feel kind of obligated to share your results with others, or that it does create a sense of accountability, so you do tend to keep up with things better. But I think it was very important that I did it on my terms, and that nobody told me I had to do this. It wasn't anybody else's idea. I came up with it. Like I said, it might have been a terrible idea, but it was mine. And I decided to do it myself, and I decided how I wanted to do it. I decided what my rules were going to be, and I got to decide how I wanted to share about it, and how much I wanted to share, how much I was willing to share, and all of that. And I think that was really important, that I didn't feel pressured by any outside plan, because I've run across plans before, and the other thing is that they don't always just fit with your life, whatever that may be, because I've run across plans before, like 30 days of cleaning, and it would outline each day a task to do in your home. And the problem with that is those same things just might not apply to everybody. And also just being told that you have to do a certain thing each day, and some people might find that helpful, to have that part of the decision-making process done for them, but in my case, I think it was really important that I'm deciding what I'm doing each day, and not following a plan made by anybody else. So anyway, I am gonna go back to the house, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Hi guys, Merry Christmas Eve, day 24. Today's task was really, it wasn't even a specific task. I just got a lot of things done today that I needed to. I moved some more clothes from our current bedroom into the closet, where I've been making room in there to put our clothes there. So worked on that some, and then I just did some general light cleanup around the house. Got the kitchen cleaned up, because I do have to do some cooking tomorrow, so I just made sure my stove and sink and my counter where I do prep, that's all cleared off, so I can do all that. Table's clean, and just did a light pickup around the living room here. Picked up toys and put them away to make her some room for tomorrow. And I'm about to go get the presents to put out, and I do have to do a little bit of cooking prep still tonight for tomorrow. So yeah, just kind of a variety of things that I did today, and I did not film any of it just because it was so all over the place. I felt like trying to take the time to film it would have been a hindrance. I wouldn't have gotten it all done, so I just didn't. Sorry, again, have to take my word for it. But anyway, I did want to just sit down and take a minute to talk about the third thing that I think has been really helpful to me in doing this challenge, and that is that I've allowed it to be very flexible. I have not had any kind of set task list, that I didn't try to plan out at the beginning that I was going to do certain things on certain days. I've left that very open to deciding on a daily basis what I thought would be the most helpful. So I think that's been really helpful in that, it's allowed me to say, hey, I really need to work on this today, or that's just not as important today. And it's also allowed me to be flexible in the size of the task depending on what else I had going on. If I just didn't have a lot of time, I could just do something small and not feel bad about it that I didn't get this big thing done that I had planned for today. It was completely okay. And on days that I did have more time, I could take on something a little bit bigger. And I think that's been really important, that I didn't try to set something ahead of time and, pigeonhole myself into doing something, because, you just never know what a day is going to be like ahead of time. You can guess, obviously I knew today was going to be Christmas Eve, but, there's so many variables that can come up without much notice that can affect how your day goes. So leaving it open and flexible and allowing myself to have that wiggle room, I think, has been really important for being able to stick with it this far. So anyway, with that, I'm gonna go finish getting ready for tomorrow. And tomorrow, again, probably not going to be a huge task day because it's Christmas and we're going to focus on that. But I will talk to you guys a little bit tomorrow, and it might just be only picking up the wrapping paper, but we'll see. Anyway, good night, guys. Kind of wet out there. Anyway, Merry Christmas. It is day 25, and today I gave myself the gift of letting it count to just take care of gathering up all the wrapping paper, breaking down the boxes and packaging, and I just brought them out for recycling because pickup day's tomorrow. So yeah, and when I get back to the house, I'm gonna put away some toys and other things that are still out and try to pick up the living room some. But yeah, that counts for today, and tomorrow I'll try to get back to doing some more organization type stuff. So anyway, I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas, and I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Just kidding. Totally forgot I was supposed to talk about something else. So my reason today, my thing that I think has been really helpful to me during this challenge, is that although I have left it pretty open and flexible as far as the tasks I was going to do each day, I have done some loose planning that has helped me. Namely, I have gone through ahead of time and made lists of these things that I was going to talk about each day. I have that done, or pretty much done, at the beginning of the week, so that's one less thing I have to try to think about each day. So that part of it was done for me, and I just keep that in a list on my phone, which is where I keep pretty much all of my lists, because that's the only way I can do it without losing them. I've got a lot of lists. I've got running to-do lists and running grocery shopping lists and meal ideas and all that. But anyway, yeah, I have left it open and flexible, but I also have done a little bit of planning and framework ahead of time just to make it a little bit easier on me each day. So I do have that part of it taken care of at least. So anyway, yeah, good night for real this time. I'll see you tomorrow. Hi guys, day 26. As you can see, my task for today was clearing off this little counter over here where the microwave is. So that was a pretty quick and easy task for tonight, which is actually really appropriate for the helpful thing that I want to talk about this evening. So one thing that I find really helpful, this is really helpful for when you have limited time or energy, or particularly limited motivation, and when you're feeling really overwhelmed, is to just choose and focus on one really small bite-sized task that you're sure you have the time and energy to complete, and that's really helpful to kind of jumpstart your motivation and get over that feeling of overwhelm. Because if you pick something, and like this is a perfect example of it, it's a small area, like very clear limits, like it's just a short little section of countertop, it's its own thing. And I was sure that I could get through and complete that tonight. I'm actually wasn't even feeling particularly unmotivated today, but on days where you are, that can be really helpful, where you can pick something that you know you can do it, you can see really clear, visible results that you got it done, and that can be a real boost sometimes for your motivation. Like, wow, okay, I did that, it looks a lot better. And once you get that done, you can definitely give yourself permission to, that's it for the day. But quite often, once you get one small thing done like that and it looks good, you can be like, wow, that feels really great. It kind of gives you that little dopamine hit, and you can be like, wow, that kind of gives me a little bit more motivation to move on and then do another task. And as I said, that can be really helpful also when you're feeling really overwhelmed. I get this a lot, I have a room, it's just like the whole thing's so messy, and you can just stand there and it's like, where do I even start? They're so wet. And you can oftentimes tackle things like that, and you're jumping all over the place, and so you've worked on it for a couple hours, and yet when you look at it, it doesn't even look like you got anything done, and that can be really frustrating. And sometimes we have to do things that way. Sometimes it's just a big job that is going to take several days of working on it a few hours at a time. But when we get really discouraged and just kind of need that little, like I said, that little dopamine hit to kind of help kickstart us, it can be really helpful to do it in a way like this, where you just pick one thing that you can get done, and that can kind of help you get over that overwhelm. Like, okay, I got a piece done, and now I can pick another piece and just do a little bit at a time. So anyway, I found that's something that's really helpful for me, and yeah, that was really a pretty perfect example of it tonight. Just pick one thing. Anyway, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Hi guys, it's day 27. And my mother-in-law is actually coming out for a few hours this afternoon to help watch the little one for a while. So I will probably take advantage of that and try to build some of the shelves and things that I need here in the closet to continue moving forward with that. So that's my plan for today, is just to try to get as much of that kind of stuff done as possible. That's hard to do when I'm, here alone. So let's see what we get done. Alright, I ended up getting busy with some other things too this afternoon, so this one shelf is the only thing I got done today, but that's okay. So it's I've got like 13 inches of clearance underneath here, so my plan is to get some baskets or bins that will fit under there that I can slide out and put some things in, and then I can also put some bins and things on top that will hang, or that will be just underneath these clothes that are hanging. So that'll give me a little bit of clothes storage space there. I still need to do some more for sure, but that'll get me started. And then I'll have a better idea just how much more I need, so I can figure out exactly what else I want to do. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about today, the thing that's really helping me is really making a conscious effort to not compare myself to others, whether that be other people that I know in person, other, things that you see on the internet, because we all see some really beautiful, well-organized homes on the internet, but, it can be sometimes easy to forget that, other people have different circumstances and resources than we have. I just built this shelf out of some scrap wood that we happen to have laying around. I didn't go buy anything to do it, so that's a huge plus for me. Didn't cost me anything. And that's fine for me. I don't care. I don't care that it's made out of scrap wood. I do not care that, it would have been nice if it was straight, but whoever built these shelves originally, I don't know who did that. They were here when we moved here, but whoever did that didn't get everything super straight, which isn't a huge deal, except that it, like, here were so these 2x6s that I put the boards on were crooked, so the ends of the boards are stepped a little bit, and that's, it would have been nice if it wasn't like that, but it's not a huge deal. I personally don't mind. Again, it's in a place where pretty much nobody else is going to see it. It's just for us, so not a huge deal. And I am allowed to have whatever standards I want for myself in my home, and the fact that other people have different standards is okay, and that's fine. And other, different standards, different, like I said, circumstances and resources. Some people would have taken the time to, like, either redo this or make up for that somehow so it was straight. Some people would have gone and got, specific materials for this and made it look nicer and painted it. Some people would have just gone and bought some kind of shelving unit, and all of that's completely fine, because I don't have to compare. I can do whatever works for me, and if that looks different than what works for other people, that's okay. It really is. As long as it's serving its purpose for me and my family, that's the only thing that matters. So, anyway, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Alright, so as you can see, today's task was cleaning out the fridge. So that's what I decided to do today on day 28 to wrap up week 4. So this is the last full week of December. Obviously there are 3 more days in December, so I do still plan on doing one more video for the last 3 days to kind of wrap things up. And then I'm not sure where exactly I'm going to go forward from that, but I will probably let you guys know in that video. So anyway, just a little side note, my little counter space here that I cleaned up a couple days ago, I decided that might be a good place for my bread maker to live, so I can maybe use it more often. So trying that. Anyway, yeah, the thing that I wanted to talk about today, the last thing that has really made a big difference for me in keeping up with this challenge and sticking with it, has been letting go. Letting go of stuff. I particularly things like clothing, just really being a lot more willing to just let go of things, donate them, things that don't fit anymore. I've historically had an issue with this, particularly with things that I either spent money on or that were gifted, and of course I spend money on all my clothes to some degree, but I've mentioned before that vast majority of my clothing I get at thrift stores and yard sales and things like that. I'm a huge fan of all that. So most of my clothing I don't have a lot of money in, but most of those items that I don't have a lot of money in, also I tend to just wear until they wear out. But I have this problem where things that I did purchase new, I have a much harder time letting go of, if, whether I just don't wear it or whether it doesn't fit me anymore, whatever the case, I still have a hard time letting go of it often because I did spend money on it. So working on getting better at that and just, letting go of it and accepting that I can always get new or new to me thrifted stuff that does fit me, and it's not a big deal. That, again, don't hang on to a mistake just because you spent a long time making it. And again, that's not really a mistake, but you know what I mean. It's just getting past that little bit. And the other thing that I find particularly hard to get rid of is things that have been gifted, and this applies less to my stuff and more to my daughter, because she gets a lot of clothes and toys gifted to us from friends and family, which of course is wonderful. We're very grateful for that. But again, I have a really hard time because it was a gift, even when it's something that doesn't fit her anymore, or something that, you know, she doesn't play with anymore. I still feel really guilty getting rid of it because it was a gift. So also working on getting past that, and, you know, accepting that, you know, that's just the nature of it. We can't keep everything forever, so some things we just have to let go of. And also letting go not only of physical things, but letting go of things like expectations, and letting go of sometimes, you know, we create rules for ourselves that aren't really rules, and sometimes we really have to think through that and say, well, you know, is there really a reason that I think this thing has to be that way? And, you know, sometimes maybe there is, but, you know, really thinking critically, and, you know, does it really have to be that way? Or, you know, I've been thinking about that this week, you know, like when I was clearing off this counter space, and I thought, okay, I got it cleared off. Sure, it looks better. But I also thought, you know, what's the point of having counter space, or, you know, whatever, any space in my home? What's the point of having all this space if I'm not using it? And so I thought about that, you know, do counters and that really have to be empty to look decent, or, you know, for my house to be clean? And I don't think it does. Of course, I really, you know, it can be better because this was very cluttered before I cleaned it. I know that. So if I can use it to actually put something here that I do use, something else, my bread maker, if I could have this be like my bread area, I might get a bread box and put here. And if I could have that space so it's actually functional and it doesn't get cluttered up so I can still use it, that's a good thing. It's not empty. It doesn't have to be empty. It just has to be functional. It just has to be so I can use it. So, you know, letting go of things like that, these ideas that we have of the way things should be, letting go of those expectations and comparisons and all that, and just figuring out what really, really works best for me and my family, and worrying less about how it might look to the outside world. So, yes, anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and for watching, and I will see you next week.